Hi, Lily.
Hi.
Tell me about where we are, first of all.
This is my studio.
How long have you been here?
2 years?
Okay. What's the latest you've been in this room?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've
Has
done
it gone, all
done
day?
like double days.
Oh, really?
Triple, not triple. There is a shower.
I was just going to ask, is there a shower? That was my next question, is there a shower?
No, there is a shower. It's quite a funny group of people because when I first moved in, Mark Bronson was on the ground floor.
Yeah.
And then on the second floor is Benjaby
Yeah.
and Chase and Status.
Yeah.
And then on this floor, it's me, Sub Focus, and Shy FX. We're like sort of Stella Street.
This whole
of
studio
Tyre.
complex is
It's very weird.
It's so sick. So you have a new album called No Shame.
I do.
I'm sure you've got loads of emotions going on right now. What's like the dominant one at this very moment about your feelings of the album?
Anxiety.
Straight away, just straight
up.
Anxiety. It's just anxiousness. That is how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I've really like held my cards close to my chest with this one, and I haven't really played it to many people. And there are like definite like bonuses with that in terms of like, you know, I know that it is the best album that I can make, and there haven't been any outside sources like telling me what's right and what's wrong and what's going to work for radio and what isn't. And so that's really great. But then it also means that like when it comes out, it's my fault.
So the album is you telling us everything you feel without doing that bit where you say, oh, I'm not going to talk about that. You actually said, I'm going to talk about
Unfiltered.
everything, it seems like. And there's moments, I twerked to some songs in the shower, but then there were some songs that I was nearly crying.
Oh. I think like a good way to describe it is that you can almost like say like at the beginning of the album like starts like in the middle of a really bad night.
Yes.
And it takes you all the way through that night, through the day, and then the next night is a bit better.
Just a little bit.
It's getting there.
I listened to the album and it really like is, it's you, I think, on like 10 out of 10. That's what it feels like to me. It's like the best version of like the way your voice sounds on it, the specific songs that you talk about, like everything just feels like 10 out of 10. Like you really were not gonna let this be finished until it was the best it could be. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I do. I really do. Well, I mean, I don't think it's 10 out of 10. I'm never going to think that. But I think that, like, when I first started in this game, a lot of things happened, and there were a lot of outside forces that kind of shaped who I became in people's minds. And I take full responsibility for a lot of that, but also there are a lot of things that I don't have any control over. And I think that with this record, I got so upset with all of those things that I didn't have any control over, especially as a woman. Like, you kind of are sort of sent out to sell things in a different way that guys are sent out to sell things. And I wanted it to be about my music. And I think on my last album, it didn't really feel like that with me. And I think I had like a identity crisis as a result. And it's a place that I really did not like being in at all. Pretty much everything, like the clothes I was wearing, the songs that made it as singles, like everything, the interviews that I was doing. And I had kids, like, but I was kind of told not to really talk about my kids. And it was all a bit like, what is this? Why are there voluminous baby bottles on my stage?
So the album's called No Shame. You can tell me as well, because I've just made this up from listening to it. It's no shame as in, like, I'm actually just going to tell you everything that's going on. Like, I've got no shame about any of this.
Well, so I think, because, like, I do pay attention to my own press and and, like, you know, what people say in my Twitter feeds and everything. And a lot of the time it's like, you know, I'm saying things that really aren't that bad. They get twisted to mean something completely different. And so that's kind of, you know, no one can really take this record away from me. Yeah, it is what it is. It's called No Shame because the songs are pretty self-explanatory, you know. So, yeah, I'm not ashamed of those things. In fact, I kind of feel like I need to talk about them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have talked about them. And I'm a big believer in talking, you know. Like, I think that's how we get to know each other. It's how we work things out. It's how we resolve differences, is by talking and sharing. So there are some things in my life that have been hard, some things that have been great, and I'm talking about them because I think that it can help other people, helps me. It's not like done to shock or for attention. It's just
exactly what it is. Trigger Bang, that was obviously the first song. Why was Giggs the guy that was like, I'm going to put out a song now and it's going to be the one that features Giggs?
2 reasons. One, Giggs is popping off right now. Quite happy to sit in that slipstream. So that would be one.
Yeah. What kind of vibe are you in when you're with Giggs? I can't imagine you two hanging out.
You know what? Actually, that was like at the height of my
Oh, is it?
badness, yeah. We've been hanging out quite a lot he's just been like really supportive in lots of other areas and really helpful and really like made me find my feet a little bit and remember what it is that I do this for. We were somewhere and somebody that worked with me in very close proximity to me was really rude to me. But Giggs was the first person that said, what? You can't talk to her like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's disrespectful. And no one else who'd been around and been on the payroll for all that time had that attitude. And it was like the first time that I was like, yeah, actually, you can't talk to me like that. Giggs says. And it gave me a lot of confidence. It gave me a lot of self-esteem. And actually that kind of like filtered through into the music. And it was like, you know, a bit of a, I think I just became a bit of a yes person, to be honest. And he was like, no, you're good at what you do and your songs are good. I know this because I know all the words to them. And he came into my dressing room at V Festival and literally recited all the words to this song called Everything's Just Wonderful, which is like the most like candy pop like song you can imagine. And Giggs was like there going, oh, Jesus Christ almighty, do I feel all right? No. I was like, whoa, okay. Giggs likes my stuff. I went to his studio, which is just up the road actually. And pulled a whitey and ended up going into the toilet and vomiting all over the place.
He's like, I'm just here to return the favour, actually. I'm really happy that you're a fan of mine. So I'm coming to return the favour.
Yeah. But I played
and it went the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. I played a bunch of songs to him and he was like, this one's cold, I want to jump on this one. So I was like, okay, cool. So I let him do his thing. Yeah, and then I pulled a whitey. Then I went into the toilets and was vomiting everywhere. And Giggs came in to check on me. And I just remember being on the floor like this and his head coming around the corner and me kicking the door and his head getting stuck. And I was just like, I think I just kicked Giggs really hard in the head with the door.
And he's like, I finished my verse, by the way.
But I'm in a very different place now.
What is a typical day in the life of Lily Allen these days?
There is no such thing.
Really?
I suppose it depends. Like, me and my husband do a week on, a week off with our kids. So the week that I have with the kids is very different to the weeks that I don't. And I tend to do like my night sessions when I don't have the kids because then I can go all the way through the night and sleep
and
through the next day without interrupting them.
Yeah.
It's pretty boring, to be honest. It's like, I get up, I have a coffee and a fag, and then I get in my car and I come here and I write music or watch other people write music and then go home, have a go to bed. I'm joking.
So are you happy then, Lily Allen? Are you happy?
I am happiest I've been in a long time.
Amazing.
But yeah, we're living in very weird times. I don't know if anyone's noticed. Things feeling slightly strange. I struggle like with what my boundaries are of how much I let what's going on in the world in. But I'm interested in exploring those boundaries as well. I don't know, I'm happy, but I'm worried and concerned.
At the exact same time. Have you got an image of what your life's going to be like when you're 50 years old? Do you think about that far into the future?
No.
Like, what do you know you definitely don't want to... Like, do you want to get married again? This is a big question, actually.
I kind of do, but only for my boyfriend's surname. His surname's London. And
You're not doing
if I was Lily London,
You're not doing this.
I'd be a G.
I'm not doing this with you. No. We just had an album about marriage and life and love. You are not going to get married for a surname.
No, I'm not.
Lily London.
No, I don't know if I'd ever get married again. I don't know. It's not really something that's like priority for me to think about right now.
I absolutely love how open you are about issues in politics, society, humanity, anything that you say online is always, I like that you feel great and able to verbalise those things, especially on social media. Do you feel like it makes a difference?
No, not necessarily.
Why'd you do it?
A lot of it is like highlighting what is out there because I think people really like to ignore what's happening and ignore the struggle of other people. And if they can't see it, then it's not happening. It's not happening and it's fine. And a lot of the stuff that I get in my timeline is really quite horrible and threatening stuff. And I don't really feel like I want to go through it on my own. So I'm
telling everyone.
Yeah, it's like, look, these people are saying these really horrible things about me, my kids, my role as a mother, my work. Is this is everyone okay with this? Are we all cool with this as like human beings? Is this a cool environment for us all to be hanging out in? Because if I don't post, and I don't repost all of it, but I post quite a lot of it, and people are like, well, you know, you're adding fuel to the fire, all they want is attention. And it's like, this is happening online, but this happens in real life as well, IRL, outside of the internet. And I think that the internet is amazing in so many ways. You know, we're talking about things that we haven't talked about collectively for a long time or ever. The goal with a lot of those like trolls and bots and, you know, right-wing media arms like the Daily Mail and the Sun is to shut the voices of dissent down, and their way of doing that most effectively is to bully them. And I can see that. I see it. I've seen it because I've experienced it in the mainstream media anyway, but I also see it being sort of replicated now on my timeline and in my mentions. And I don't think that, like, cowering off into the corners are going to do anything.
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah. There aren't that many other people that are willing to do it, and for some reason I've found myself here.
What scares you the most about raising two young women?
Instagram.
Really? That's the most?
Yeah, for sure. Because I've got like little cousins, and like I was with them the other day, and you know, they were talking amongst themselves, and they're sort of like, I don't know, like, how many likes do you think it will get? I'm not going to post it, I'm not going to post it. And you just sort of think like,
That's sad.
It's just a picture of you on the beach, like, it doesn't matter. That's already feels quite extreme to me now for teenagers, and that's certainly something that I didn't have to contend with, and I don't think you did when you were that young either. And to watch them going through that is sad, and my kids are, you know, 10 years younger than them, so I really hope that, I don't know what I hope.
Should we get Instagram shut down before they yeah. Just get it out there. I just want to end with saying I'm happy you made another album.
Oh, thank you.
Is No Shame now like a Lily Allen mantra of life?
I think it always has been, to be honest. I think, you know, I've always kind of tried to be sort of like unashamedly myself, and not really anything. The place when it started to go wrong is when
you did try
when I have tried to blend in or to exist within whatever system, and that really didn't work for me. So, in fact, it filled me with shame and dread. And so, yeah, I'm here being unashamed.